again, day 2. Now, I'm going to try so hard to keep this video as short as possible. There's so much to tell you. So, when you get your challenge pack, I want you to open it up, read through everything, and before you open your challenge pack, again, I gave you a tour of Beachbody On Demand yesterday, so hopefully you've gone through there. If you haven't watched Autumn's foundational videos under Fixate, please go ahead and do that. They are very important when you start to learn your containers, start talking about food prep, and just getting ready to conquer the food plan. Again, it's simple. I know at first you are very overwhelmed and you are so worried and concerned about keeping up with your reds and yellows and what's this and what's that, but just know that the more you do it, the easier it gets. It gets easier and easier every day, every week. So, I want to give you a very quick tour of what you will get in your challenge pack and the important things to pull out. So yours may look a little bit different. This is from Country Heat, but you will get a eating plan. Be sure you read it. There's so much information in there. It will be very informative and help you get started. At the very beginning, it will talk about how to get started and figure out your container counts, so you need to do that. Be sure you calculate that and figure it out. There is an app available that you can download. Hopefully one of these days the My Challenge Tracker app will have the ability to track your containers in there as well, but you will have to download a separate app, or you can just do it the old-fashioned way. I did not bring it in here with me, but there is a meal plan, a blank meal plan that you can print out that's both in the Facebook page files and also the files of the app. You can print that out and it has a little column, and that's just what I use to track my containers. But if you want an app, you can do that. I've seen some cute things on Pinterest. I've seen people use magnets on the refrigerator, whiteboards. There are all kinds of options, but it doesn't matter how you do it, but you do need to track your containers. The eating plan guide will tell you all about the containers, what a red is, what a yellow is, how to trade in yellows for certain things, and all that kind of stuff. So let me show you the containers. So you'll also get all the containers. Unpack them. Don't be afraid of them. They are your friend. I was pleasantly surprised when I first started this program about, mine's dirty. I was very pleasantly surprised about, how much food I got to eat. The only thing I will say is it was an eye-opening experience for me, because when I first started, I realized everything I was eating, my entire diet, was made up of yellows and blues, and really not the healthy blues, but the unhealthy blues and the unhealthy yellows. I was eating very little greens, almost no reds, and then maybe an orange here or there. And purple. My purple I used this morning, so I think it's in the dishwasher. And virtually no purples. So it will probably be an eye-opening experience for many of you to balance your diet and figure out how to eat to fuel your body. That is the one thing that I discovered is when I eat this way, I feel so much better. I don't have these weird dips in my blood sugar. I have constant energy. I feel strong. I don't have a foggy brain. I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised. You will also get Shakeology with your challenge pack. Just to explain this, I always like to do a visual because I get this question a lot. Let me pull my red back out. Hang on. So for Shakeology, you will... Okay. So your scoop of Shakeology, whether you have a scoop of Shakeology, a packet of Shakeology, they both equal 1 red, and you count that as 1 red. Then anything you add into your shake, you also count. If you add spinach, you count that. If you add fruit, you add that. I also, just to tell you how I use the containers, I use them more as scoops. Sometimes people ask me, do I really have to eat out of the containers? No, you don't have to eat out of containers. I really just use them as scoops because I cook for my family, and then I portion out my food, and make sure I'm, eating the correct portions. So you don't actually physically eat out of them unless you want to. What else do I want to tell you? There will be a brochure that, let's see, comes with your packet. And it may or may not look like this, but it will say start here. This is mine from the 21 Day Fix. obviously start here. I did not, but start here, read through it. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to know to get started with whatever program you have. And then really the most important part is on the back of the transformation tracker where you're going to write down your measurements. This used to be a separate video talking about measuring yourself and before and after pictures. I cannot stress enough how important it is to measure yourself. Now, weighing yourself, I don't have strong opinions about that. What I would encourage you to do, if you weigh yourself, and if you weigh yourself every day and you need feedback and you want to see if you are making progress and losing weight, I want to challenge you to stop doing that. If you're going to weigh yourself once a week, the same time every week, same time of day, and no more than that. Some people, what I would really love is for people to commit to a 21-day or 30-day program and measure and weigh themselves at the beginning and at the end, and let that be that. And get used to paying attention to your body and paying attention to non-scale victories, which we'll talk a lot about in the group. And those are things like, all of a sudden if your rings feel loose, hey, guess what? That means you're losing weight. That means you're not retaining water. That means you're healthier. That means, there's so many other things to pay attention to. If you're sleeping better, if people are giving you compliments, if your skin looks better. Again, we'll get into non-scale victories more, but I don't have a strong opinion about whether or not you weigh yourself, but I do have a strong opinion about when and how you weigh yourself. I also have very strong opinions about measuring yourself. You do need to measure yourself. If you don't have a tape measure, please go out and get one, or use a ribbon and a ruler. I mean, be resourceful. This is so important. I can't tell you how many times people tell me they don't measure themselves, and it makes me want to bang my head against a wall. It is so important. Your body will change. If you follow this program and follow our advice, your body will change. And you won't believe that it changes, but you will have proof if you have measured yourself, and you will have even more proof if you take before and after pictures. I don't think, again, I kind of have a mixture of all my programs here. You will see a brochure that has usually people with t-shirts on the front, and then it talks about winning a t-shirt. And then on the inside, it will show you and talk to you about how you take your before and after pictures. Ladies, I know you don't want to, and I know it's probably not fun, and but please, I beg of you, please take before pictures. You don't ever have to share them with anyone. You don't ever have to show anyone. I've had women who have taken the pictures and then immediately changed their password on their phone. You can be creative. I've seen women stand on stools in the bathroom mirror. I've seen women prop things up and take a selfie. I mean, however you can do it, I recommend that you do it. And if you don't take all, I mean, you don't have to have a photo shoot and do exactly all these pictures, but I recommend that you do something. Even if it's you put on a tank top and a pair of shorts, and you just take a picture of yourself in front of a mirror. Or I've had women who have just taken pictures of their midsection. That's fine too. Just something, because again, your body's going to change. And the beauty of this program is, as you are losing weight, you're gaining muscle, you're feeling more energy, you're more active, things just change and shift, and things happen that you just won't believe. So that's why you need the pictures. So please take the pictures. Another really, really, really important thing about this program, and some people still don't believe me, but I'm going to keep telling you, and I'm going to keep, drilling it until y'all believe me. You have to do some sort of personal development. Most of you coming into this program are making some sort of change, whether it's you are giving up something. For me, I was giving up sugar. That's really hard. I was changing my diet. I was trying to give up junk food. I was trying to commit to exercising daily. And for someone who hates exercise, that's hard. So you really need something to fuel your brain and your soul and your heart while you're experiencing these changes, because there are going to be days that you want to quit. There are going to be days that you're going to, all those voices inside your head are going to be telling you, you can't do that. That's stupid. You'll never lose that weight. You'll never be able to do a push-up. You're going to hear those voices. That's where these books come in. There's so much that we can do in the group, and there's so much support and accountability and motivation and inspiration that you can get in the group. So I encourage you to come there. But this really, really will tip you over the scale, I promise. So the compound effect is amazing. It is a great... it's just a great book that goes along with the program. You are a badass. It's so fun. I mean, you don't have to get any of these books if they don't speak to you, but I recommend that you find something. If one of these three don't, then just find something. And the 5-second rule is my new favorite. If you procrastinate, if you come up with excuses, if you doubt yourself, get the 5-second rule. And you don't have to buy the book. Go check it out. Go download it from Audible. There's just so many different ways to get your personal development part taken care of, and I really, really recommend that you do that. Let me look at my list and make sure I've covered everything I want to talk to you about. So, let me just talk to you really quickly about how I food prep, and then I'm going to stop, and then I'll see you tomorrow on day 3. So, there's no right or wrong way to food prep. You just have to find what works for you. When I first started, everybody in my group said you had to meal prep on Sunday, and that just didn't work for me. Sunday was my family day. We were at the pool. We were doing things. We were, I didn't have time to go to the grocery store and food prep. But what worked for me was Monday morning. I would take all my kids to school. I would go straight to the grocery store, come home, and spend an hour prepping my meals for the week. When you first get started, please keep it simple. Do not overwhelm yourself with trying new recipes and going to Pinterest and looking for, it drives me crazy when I see people start and then I see that they've started a 21-day fix board. Do yourself a favor and stay off of Pinterest. The only reason you can go to Pinterest is if you're looking for Shakeology flavors, or if you're looking for ideas on how to track your containers. Stay off of it for recipes. Just use the recipes in our group. I've found ones that are easy, family-friendly, delicious, and won't totally overwhelm you. So again, it doesn't matter how and when you food prep. Just find a way for it to fit into your schedule, into your life, into your routine. I do the online shopping now. That has changed my life. I save so much money by doing that because I don't have all these impulse purchases. I don't have my kids with me asking, can I get Lucky Charms, and coming home with all kinds of other crap that we don't need. So I encourage you just to kind of figure out, what works for you and your family and stick with it, and keep it simple. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. I eat the same thing for lunch most weeks. I'll make a crustless quiche. I'll make a salad. I'll make, in the wintertime, I will make, one of our soups or stews and eat off of that. I love making more for dinner so that then I have leftovers for the next day. There are so many ways to make this easy and to not be overwhelmed. So I do recommend keeping it simple, especially in the beginning. Try, finding one thing you can have for breakfast. Try finding a couple things you can have for lunch, and then experiment with your dinners. One thing I failed to mention about Shakeology, I always like mentioning this. I hated Shakeology when I first started. I hated my first 5 shakes. They were terrible. I thought I'd made an awful mistake. And so I encourage you to stick with it and try. Now, some people try it and they're like, oh my God, that's the most delicious thing I've ever had. I love it. And they don't have any problems. If you have any problems with your Shakeology, either with the flavor or with any kind of digestive issues, please reach out. It's not unusual. And I can give you so many tips and tricks and advice on what worked for me and what I know worked for other people. So don't give up on any part of this program at all, but just please reach out and let us know, what you need and what questions you have. Okay, that is it for today. That was a long one. So tomorrow, I promise I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm just going to wrap it up and talk to you about how to be successful and where to go from here. So I will see y'all on day 3.